Peace and love, everybody. Salute, y'all. I figured I'd come by and just give a little bit of my thoughts about last night's fight with Boots Ennis, of course, and Abyssinian, and just give a few little thoughts that I have, post fight, right? Okay, so Boots is definitely and undoubtedly keeping an absolute stronghold on the 147-pound division. There's absolutely no doubt about it that, to me, he is the reigning king of 147 right now. All right. He showed up. He showed out in his hometown of Philly last night, and it was absolutely wonderful to see him so well received by his people. He looked very happy, very comfortable as he walked out into that ring. He was just vibing and dancing and taking it all in, looking at the people and dapping up, you know what I'm saying? Eddie, when he got into the ring, it was nice. It was very nice to see. The atmosphere was warm and charged, and everybody was just ready for him to just get in there and do his thing. It was definitely a good night of boxing indeed, and Boots very much dominated the performance. But what was interesting to see is that there were little pocket moments, okay, where Avanesian managed to snap the head back of Boots, which was definitely much to our surprise, right? And this little, success that Abyssinian managed to exploit in these little particular moments definitely seems to have caused quite a little ripple in the boxing world, okay? And it's definitely a lot of people, with their discourse on social media among fans, commentators right now, talking about that and speculating about, Boots's, sensibility, I guess. Avanesian landed some clean shots, some precise shots in the earlier rounds with Boots. And that was definitely to the dismay of many people who were looking in, and definitely certainly posed some questions, right? Left many people questioning about if Boots possibly has some weak points or at least some negligible traits that he needs to tighten up on. And I find that definitely to be understanding for sure. I understand the criticism coming in on that front. Basically, as we are used to seeing Boots be virtually impenetrable when he's in that ring, right? But I am also keeping in mind, however, that last night's performance was the first performance of Boots in a whole year, okay? It has been an entire year since he's been in the ring. And, we all know him to be somebody who trains diligently. We all know him to stay in the gym. He's a gym rat and he makes sure to stay sharp, whether he is preparing for a fight or not. But a year out of the ring certainly can pose some concerns, of adjustment when you're back in the ring. Of course, you have to be faced with that. Having been out so long, of course, you're going to be posed with the need to readjust, to the ring, and definitely to such a high level fight as this was. This is his first title defense and so much was on the line. His first, coming out with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. So it was definitely a lot pending and a lot riding on this, in addition to what we would call ring rust and him being out of the ring for a whole year. So hopefully, though, moving forward, with his new venture with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, he won't have to worry about such things as inactivity as he previously dealt with his prior promotional company. Hopefully, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom will do the right thing and keep him active, and he won't have to stay out of the ring for such long durations anymore. I definitely anticipate that they intend to keep him on target and as mobile and active as possible, especially as he postures to, get closer and closer to solidifying the bigger name fights. Okay. And activity is definitely going to be important for him staying, on point and sharp as he makes his way and climbs higher and higher to the bigger names. As I mentioned in the previous commentary yesterday, I'd definitely love to see Boots move up ASAP, okay, to contend with the top dogs at 154. However, after hearing him last night when he was speaking at his post presser, I heard him mention that he definitely wants to go for undisputed at 47. So I can't help but support him fully in the vision. Okay. What he says goes. So I got to rock with the king. He's definitely more than capable of cleaning out the division and solidifying that legacy and milestone for himself. That is 100% facts. Currently, of course, Crawford is still, I believe, the full champion for the WBA and WBO belts. Okay, and with that, there are respective interim champions for the WBA and WBO belts, and that is Stanley Ennis and Brian Norman, respectively. I'm wondering what's going to happen regarding, that particular front with those two belts and the interim and all of that. I'm not sure, but we'll see, I suppose. But in the meantime, Boots can certainly and most definitely grab the strap for Mario Barrios, because Mario Barrios is the full champion and holding the WBC belt. So he could definitely go knocking on his door and snatch that shit easy. You know what I mean? That would definitely be a beautiful fight. A fight that comes up next for Boots. I would love to see that, him and Barrios. One thing is for sure, it's definitely time for Boots to begin solidifying dominance and stature alongside all of the acclaim that he's been acquiring, right? When I say dominance and stature, I mean collecting the medal. He needs that. He needs the certification of those belts, the validation of those belts. Okay, it's prominence. Okay, it's dominance within the sport, and he needs to begin showing that he is everything that he says he is. I see that he wants to be recognized as an elite, which I respect. I see that grabbing the titles is definitely a way to do that. Okay, it is validation, it's verification and affirmation of one's prominence in the sport. And it's time for him to start racking those up. For him to cease being considered basically somewhat of a prospect. I wouldn't say not a prospect, but he's definitely, somebody who is a lion in contention, I would say. Right? And grabbing those belts, solidifying those belts would knock all the dust of those types of remarks and those types of perspectives off of his shoulders, because he will have proven himself by acquiring the belts. Okay. He would have answered many questions by solidifying such acclamation as becoming undisputed champion, hands down, no doubt about it. So I'm definitely in support of the young king, and I can't wait to see, what he's making his way to next. And I definitely can't wait to see him ultimately get to step with the bigger fish whenever he's ready to jump in. That's it for me, y'all. I'm on to the next. Peace.